I've never smoked, never drank, never have done drugs. Not a single time in my life. But you may be wondering, why? You're a college student. This is the most carefree time of your life. But to know me better, I need to take you back in time, in high school. I had no idea my life would change forever. And I'll be explaining this later in the video, the main reason why I stay sober, but I encourage you to stick until the end to hear my story. If I had to point out one of the most authentic times of my life, it was during my freshman year, especially the summer entering freshman year. That was honestly one of the best years of my life, one of the best summers of my life. The surfing was just perfect every day. I made so many new friends, and I was living in the moment one day at a time. Everything was just so carefree, so intriguing. Then high school began. The first weeks felt so fresh and exciting, and I feel like there's something special about new experiences because they hook you, and you spend the majority of your life trying to recreate those things, trying to gradually make those experiences better as you go. But anyway, back to my story. I kept surfing on the weekends with my friends, started filming waves, and fell in love with content creation. And I tried recreating the perfect summer feeling every weekend. Packed beaches, party waves, crystal clear waters. But for some reason, midway through the year, I noticed something. Instead of people recreating those memories, few people were showing up to the beach. There was still a good crowd, but it just wasn't the same like it used to be. It made me wonder, was I missing out on something? Was there a new scene that I wasn't a part of? Then COVID hit, and all the magic, the authenticity I once felt, it went away. It wasn't because my dad was just telling me to stay 6 feet apart from my friends, from my grandparents. That was kind of sad. The sad part was just watching people drift away from real hobbies, real experiences, and towards superficial distractions. That's when things really started to change. People began experimenting. They started to vape, started to smoke, started to drink. And I feel like that isolation that people felt, they used it to fill a void. But I didn't fully understand it at the time until that summer. One day, I got out in the water, grabbed my camera, and as I walked over to my backpack, I saw my friend pull out a vape. So he looked at me and told me hey, you want to hit this, bro? And I told him bro, we had a health class. Why are you doing this? You know how this is gonna end. And I was a freshman at the time, so I didn't know it was something new. It was something shocking. So he looked at me and he's like, "Well, it helps relieve my anxiety. Why don't you do it?" And I just told him, I feel like those things could get you hooked and they can take away real fun. So he nodded and respected it, but I kind of felt the shift when he walked away. And gradually, as summer went on, fewer and fewer people showed up to the beach. And it was so weird. A site where everyone comes on the weekends, where you see at least a couple people you know every day, becomes a ghost town. So as our crowd gradually died down throughout the summer, I saw friends posting alcohol in their stories, the weed. These were in group hangouts that I wasn't even invited to. Not because they didn't like me, it's just because I didn't want to join in. Now, shifting gears, the following summer, once distance learning ended, the party scene exploded. I didn't go to my first party until summer started. It was a daytime party, and people were throwing beer pong balls, drinking beers, and even though I was sober, I just had a great time being with my friends. So at one point, someone handed me a drink. Obviously, I said no, and they looked at me confused, wondering do you not drink because you're religious? So I told him well, it's not because that I'm religious. It's because I just don't need alcohol to have fun, and plus the taste is absolute garbage. Then he told me oh, it's not about the taste, it's about the feel. But those words still get me today. It's not about the taste, it's about the feel. So he walked away respectfully, and still that isn't the whole story that I'm trying to get to. So there's way more for you to hear. So after having fun at that party, I decided to host one myself with Coke bottles, water bottles, chips, just like a normal party. And I think I invited 50 of my closest friends, maybe 60. But the crazy part is that when the function started, it went from 60 heads to 200 people in a matter of minutes. There were bags of alcohol, bags of vodka, bags of Trulies. But I just remember standing there and thinking, why alcohol? Why not just have the fun the way it's supposed to be? Sober interactions, authentic interactions, you're your true self. You don't have something that enhances the vibe for you. So during that party, I met so many new people, and I was the only person without a drink. And even though people like were offering me drinks, they respected me. Like I established an image for myself and gained respect as the sober kid. Everyone respected me for that, and I continue to inspire my friends every single day in college. They respect me so much because it's such a hard thing to do in college. Even in the college parties, like I go out sober and still have 10 times the fun. But now it's time to get real. To tell you the real reason why I don't drink. Alcoholism runs in my family. My mom, she's been arrested many times for DUIs. And that wasn't just the only thing. One time, my brother was in a car crash with her while she was under the influence. He's safe and alive, thankfully, but that moment kind of flipped a switch on me. And I realized that one person's decision to numb their pain or escape reality could shatter someone else's world in a second. So I made a promise to myself, a vow. I would never be that person. I choose a life of abstinence, not just because of what happened in the past with my mom, but because of what I've experienced firsthand throughout my entire life. Substances can ruin the one thing that I value more than anything, and those are authentic connections. You see, when I think back to the best moments of my life, freshman year, beach days, laughing with friends, surfing until the sun went down, none of that required a drink, a hit, or a high. It was just me, my people, and the present moment. That's the kind of life that I want to live. And because I've learned something that most people don't realize until it's too late, you don't need a substance to feel alive. You just need to find the things that make you happy every day. The things that give you clarity, purpose, and real connection in your life. And I'm not here to judge anyone else's path because everyone has their own reasons. Everyone has their own fun, their own stories, their own struggles. But for me, being sober isn't just a lifestyle. It's a choice I make every single day to protect the joy, peace, and presence that so many people lose chasing a feeling that doesn't even last. So yeah, never smoked, never drank, never done drugs, and now you know why.